Basically what's happening here is this tool it's a Family Feud type scenario. We're surveying all the market participants and finding out what the results of their decision making, their feelings, their interpretation of all the highs and the lows and the resistance, and their interpretation of the MACDs and their interpretation of political events and news events. We're surveying them.
Right.
We're asking them one question: do you think the market's going to go up? Do you think the market's going to go down? And these tipping points are when we have the survey. Like, okay, well, more participants in the market for whatever the reasons, the conglomeration of all their analysis is the market's going to go up. They're like, okay, then we'll go up. These are the survey points that we mark off here. This point right here, we did a survey, and we, basically the survey didn't get submitted for us to process on the chart. The survey was done, but it didn't get submitted. And so the same thing over here. We don't survey at the tops, and we don't survey at the bottoms because those are unreliable. Because it's basically like, well, it's an open interview, and so more people are just pushing into the auditorium so they can take the survey, and that's why we get these overbought and oversold. And so for that reason, we don't survey there. But the hidden information is that this point is where that last survey was. And when we revisit that point on our next round, basically this is where the count switches. This is where the imbalance goes from it was going up. Now we took the survey, we took a survey here, but we didn't report it because it's unreliable. But then we start getting, sell. But we had 100 people. We had 100 people we were surveying every time. At this point in time, we're at 25 cells. We're at 30 cells, 40, 42 cells, 51 or 50, 49, and now we're at 51. We've crossed over. Out of that 100, more people are saying sell than they are saying buy before we conduct the next survey, which would be down here at the 0 mark, at that crossover. That would be where you would get a signal typically. So this right here, you get that number, that's a 4.31. And then when you revisit and when you cross below that 4.31, that is the imbalance point right there. And it's not on this, you can't see it on the signal, but if you understand what's happening, you can see it on the tool. And that, I entered my first trade today on that move. I didn't enter because of one of these marks here and one of these marks here. Now I'm going to shrink this, and boom, there's the 9 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you got to love news. I guess the NASDAQ dropped. Let's just see real quick. Let's see. Oh yeah. So I just got that news alert on my, so let's just evaluate what they told us at 9:58. We could have found it out any earlier. Oh yeah, there was a secondary signal at 9:28, so 30 minutes before it hit the wires. And oh yeah, I guess about 2 minutes before it actually happened. This is a 2-minute candle, and I think that's the thing. It shows how robust this is. You can just give me anything, and I, with a high degree of confidence, will be like, okay, let's go see. And no matter what instrument someone's brought to me, one way or another, we either had the signal or the deeper understanding of the system told us that. So watch this. Let me do this real fast. Do the same thing we did on the last one. Here's our number, 529. We'll do coordinates, 5.29.
No, this is crazy.
There it is right there. So actually that signal was, I could have used that hack and been 4 to 6 minutes ahead of what the wire is telling me. Yeah, we would have gotten that somewhere right. Just say we got it here. Just say we got it on this candle there. There it is.
I wonder how many days we can spot this same move. Because if you could just trade this one a day.
Okay,